Picture this moment very clearly. It's late at night, the house is finally quiet. You're tired, ready for bed, and you walk into the bathroom for one last look. The lights turn on, and there it is. That stubborn toilet stain hugging the waterline. That faint but unpleasant odor you thought you got rid of yesterday. You pause for a second. You think about scrubbing. You think about harsh cleaners. And then you feel that familiar resistance inside you. Not again. What if tonight could be different? What if, instead of fighting your toilet, you could simply walk away, go to sleep, and wake up to a clean, fresh-smelling toilet without scrubbing, without chemicals, without effort? That single idea sounds almost impossible, and that's exactly why you need to stay with this story, because what you're about to hear completely changes how cleaning works. Let's be honest for a moment. Toilets are one of the most clean things in a home and somehow, still one of the most frustrating. You clean them, they look okay for a day or two, and then slowly the stains creep back. The smell returns. The ring reappears like it was never gone. And over time, something worse happens. You stop expecting perfection. You accept good enough. But deep down, that never feels good. And that's the problem most people don't realize they're living with. Now let me tell you a real-life story, because this is where everything started to make sense. A homeowner in Florida, busy job, long commute, humid climate, cleaned her toilet almost every single day. Bleach, gels, sprays, brushes. Still, the odor came back. The stains darkened. One night, exhausted and frustrated, she decided not to scrub at all. She tried something simple, quiet, almost lazy. She treated the toilet and went to sleep. No scrubbing, no flushing again, no effort. The next morning, she lifted the lid and just stood there in silence. The stains were gone. The odor was gone. And for the first time in years, the toilet smelled like nothing at all. That moment changed her routine forever. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Most toilet stains and odors don't need force, they need time. Scrubbing is loud, aggressive, and short-lived. Overnight cleaning is quiet, patient, and deep. When the bathroom is undisturbed, when the water is still, when the bowl has hours instead of minutes, stains loosen, odors neutralize, and bacteria lose their grip. This is why overnight cleaning works when everything else fails. Let's start with the foundation, because without this understanding, nothing else will make sense. Toilet stains are not just dirt. They're a combination of minerals from hard water, microscopic bacteria colonies, and residue from cleaning products that never fully rinsed away. Odors don't come from the bowl alone, they come from bacteria living right at the waterline and under the rim. Scrubbing removes what you can see, but it leaves behind what causes the problem to return. The overnight method flips the entire process. Instead of attacking the surface, you soften the problem from the inside out. The first overnight hack is shockingly simple, and that's what makes it powerful. Before bed, you lower the water level just slightly. You don't empty the bowl, you simply expose the stain. This alone changes everything. When stains are submerged, cleaners dilute instantly. When they're exposed, they can work undisturbed. That's the first secret. Now comes the quiet hero of this method, white vinegar. Not because it's harsh, but because it's persistent. You pour it slowly around the bowl, letting it coat the stains naturally. No rush, no splashing, just patience. Vinegar doesn't attack porcelain. It dissolves minerals gently over time. While you sleep, it works its way into the layers scrubbing never reaches. But here's where curiosity kicks in, because now you start wondering, what's happening while I'm asleep? This is where the real magic lives. As the hours pass, the vinegar breaks down mineral bonds. The stains begin to soften. Odors weaken. Bacteria slow down. Nothing dramatic happens all at once, and that's exactly why it works. Now, before you think that's it, there's another layer. Baking soda. When sprinkled gently over the vinegar-coated stain, it creates a slow reaction. Tiny bubbles form, pushing into microscopic cracks in the buildup. This isn't about foam or fizz for show, it's about penetration. All night long, those bubbles keep working. No brush, no effort, just chemistry and time. When morning comes, the first thing people notice isn't that the toilet looks perfect, it's that the stain looks tired, lighter, patchy, weak. That's how you know you're winning. Stains don't disappear instantly, they surrender gradually. Now let's talk about odor, because odor is what truly bothers people. You can tolerate a stain. You can't tolerate a smell. Most odors come from bacteria living above the waterline and under the rim. Scrubbing the bowl doesn't touch them. The overnight solution here feels almost too easy. Hydrogen peroxide. Before bed, you pour it gently around the bowl and under the rim. Close the lid. Walk away. While you sleep, it releases oxygen slowly. Bacteria cannot survive oxygen exposure over time. They don't adapt. They don't fight back. They simply die off. And because this happens slowly, there's no strong smell, no chemical burn, no damage to the toilet. People often say the next morning feels strange because the bathroom doesn't smell clean. It smells like nothing. That's when you realize you weren't masking odors before, you were just covering them. Now let's go deeper, because not all toilets are the same. Some stains are older, darker, more stubborn. These are the toilets people think are ruined. This is where the overnight paper towel trick changes everything. After applying vinegar, you gently press a paper towel against the stained area. It sticks. It holds the liquid in place all night. Instead of sliding away, the vinegar stays locked onto the problem for hours. This turns a gentle cleaner into a deep treatment without adding any chemicals. By morning, the area under the paper towel often looks dramatically cleaner. This single trick has saved thousands of toilets from replacement. Now pause for a moment and think about this. All of this happens while you are sleeping. No effort, no time wasted, no stress. That's why people who switch to overnight cleaning never go back. It fits real life. Let's talk about one mistake that ruins everything. The final flush at night. Most people flush and walk away. That leaves the bowl untreated for hours. Minerals settle, bacteria grow. Instead, your last action before bed should always be treatment, not flushing. Add your solution and let it sit. That one habit alone reduces stains and odors dramatically. Here's another real-life story that proves this point. A family in Texas with extremely hard water replaced brushes constantly. Nothing worked long-term. Once they switched to overnight treatments only, the stains stopped forming. Same water, same toilet, different timing. That's the difference nobody talks about. Now let's talk about prevention, because removal is only half the battle. Once your toilet is clean, you protect it. One of the smartest tricks is treating the tank. Once a week, add vinegar to the tank before bed. It cleans internal parts silently. Every flush the next day uses cleaner water. Cleaner water means fewer stains, fewer odors, less effort. Another overlooked factor is surface damage. Abrasive scrubbing creates microscopic scratches where stains cling. Overnight methods preserve the smooth finish. Over time, the bowl becomes easier to keep clean instead of harder. And then something unexpected happens. You stop thinking about your toilet. You stop checking it constantly. You stop feeling embarrassed. That mental relief matters more than people admit. This isn't just a hack. It's a system. A quiet system that works while you rest. And the more you use it, the less you need it. Toilets reach a balance where stains struggle to form at all. This is only the beginning. In the next part, we'll go even deeper: extreme cases, long neglected toilets, professional level overnight resets, and the final habits that keep your toilet clean almost permanently. Stay with it, because once you understand the full process, scrubbing feels like an outdated mistake you'll never repeat again. Now stay with me, because this part is where everything starts to click in a deeper way. Up to now, you've learned methods that work quietly overnight, but what most people still don't understand is why these methods feel so different from traditional cleaning. This part isn't just about more hacks, it's about unlocking a mindset that turns toilet cleaning from a constant battle into something that almost disappears from your life. And once you understand this, you'll start noticing results that feel almost unfair compared to how little effort you put in. Let's begin with something simple but powerful. Have you ever noticed how stains seem to come back faster once you've scrubbed them aggressively? That's not your imagination. When you scrub hard, especially with rough brushes or powders, you create microscopic scratches in the porcelain. You can't see them, but stains can feel them. Bacteria can feel them. Minerals love them. Those scratches act like tiny hooks, grabbing onto dirt the moment water touches the surface. That's why the same toilet that used to clean easily suddenly becomes harder and harder to maintain over the years. Overnight cleaning reverses this damage cycle. Instead of tearing at the surface, you soften and release buildup gently. Over time, something surprising happens: the porcelain actually becomes easier to clean than it was before. Stains don't cling as aggressively. Odors don't linger. And the toilet starts behaving the way people assume new toilets do. Now let's talk about one of the most misunderstood things in toilet cleaning: smell. People think toilet odor comes from waste. Most of the time, it doesn't. Odor comes from bacterial gases released slowly over time. That's why a toilet can smell bad even when it looks clean. Scrubbing the bowl doesn't touch the real source, because the bacteria live under the rim, in the siphon jet, and along the waterline. Here's where overnight methods become almost surgical. When you treat the toilet at night and leave it undisturbed, the solution has time to travel. Gravity pulls it slowly under the rim. Capillary action allows it to creep into areas you can't reach with a brush. This is why odors disappear more completely overnight than during quick daytime cleaning. The bacteria don't just get disturbed, they get eliminated. Now imagine waking up and realizing something strange. The bathroom doesn't smell clean. It doesn't smell like lemon or bleach or chemicals. It smells like nothing. That's the moment people realize what real clean actually feels like. No scent is the goal. No scent means no bacteria-producing gases. Let's move into a deeper real-life scenario, because this is where viewers truly connect. A renter in New York City moved into an apartment with an old toilet. The stains were set in. The smell was faint, but constant. Scrubbing made it look better for a day, then worse the next. Replacement wasn't an option. After learning overnight cleaning, he stopped scrubbing completely. For the first week, nothing dramatic happened. But then, slowly, the stains began to break unevenly. The smell faded. After a month, the toilet didn't just look cleaner, it stayed cleaner. Same toilet, same apartment, different approach. That's the power of consistency over intensity. Now let us talk about something that keeps people hooked on these methods: the feeling of progress. With scrubbing, you clean and forget. With overnight cleaning, you start noticing subtle improvements day by day. The ring gets lighter. The water line looks smoother. The bowl reflects light better. These small changes keep people engaged, because every morning feels like opening a result, not starting a chore. Here's another overnight trick that feels almost sneaky in how effective it is. Before bed, after applying your cleaning solution, close the lid and place a small piece of tape over it. Not to seal it, just as a reminder. In the morning, that tape stops you from flushing automatically. You pause, you look, you notice the result. This small habit trains your brain to associate overnight cleaning with reward. And once your brain expects reward, consistency becomes effortless. Now let's address a fear many people have but don't say out loud. If I stop using chemicals, will my toilet really stay hygienic? The answer surprises most people. Bacteria thrive on disruption. Quick sprays and rinses scatter them. Slow, sustained treatments starve them. Vinegar, peroxide, and time create an environment where bacteria can't recover. This is why odor reduction becomes more stable over time, not worse. Let's talk about the water itself, because this is something almost no one considers. Hard water doesn't just cause stains, it feeds bacteria by leaving mineral deposits they cling to. Overnight cleaning removes these deposits gradually. As they disappear, bacteria lose their foothold. This is why some people notice that even after skipping a few nights, the toilet still looks fine. The foundation has changed. Another deeply underrated habit is how you flush during the day. Rapid, repeated flushing stirs bacteria and minerals. Gentle, normal use keeps things calmer. This doesn't mean changing how you live, it just means understanding that toilets don't need constant disturbance. They need balance. Now let's move to a powerful prevention trick that feels almost like cheating. Once your toilet is clean and stable, add a small amount of vinegar to the overflow tube in the tank before bed. While you sleep, it cleans the internal water pathways. The next day, every flush carries slightly treated water. Over time, this dramatically slows stain formation. People who do this once a week often report that rings stop forming entirely. And here's where things get interesting. Once people master overnight toilet cleaning, they start applying the same logic elsewhere. Shower stains, sink drains, even washing machines. The principle is the same. Time beats force. Quiet beats aggressive. Consistency beats intensity. Let's return to the emotional side for a moment, because this is what truly keeps viewers watching. Cleaning often feels like failure when results don't last. Overnight methods remove that feeling. You're no longer rushing. You're no longer disappointed. You're letting the process work while you rest. That shift alone changes how people feel about their homes. Think about this: when was the last time you woke up and felt relieved about your toilet? That relief is addictive. It's the kind of small win that sets the tone for the entire day. Now let's build anticipation, because there's one more layer people don't expect. Toilets, like any system, reach equilibrium. Once buildup is gone and habits change, the toilet starts maintaining itself. You're no longer chasing stains. You're simply preventing them quietly. That's why people who adopt these methods say, "I barely clean my toilet anymore." And that's not because they don't care, it's because the system is working. In the next and final part, everything comes together. You'll learn the ultimate overnight reset for extreme cases, the exact routine that keeps toilets clean long-term with almost no effort, and the powerful closing habit that makes scrubbing feel completely unnecessary forever. This final part isn't just information, it's the moment where the viewer feels confident, empowered, and ready to stop fighting their toilet for good. Stay with it, because the final piece turns all of this from knowledge into a lifestyle shift you'll never want to undo. Now this is the final stretch, and if someone has stayed with this video until now, they are no longer just watching, they are committed. They've seen the logic, felt the curiosity, imagined the results, and now they want one thing: closure. They want the complete picture. They want to know that this system really works, that it's safe, that it's sustainable, and that once they start, they won't fall back into the same old cycle of scrubbing, smelling chemicals, and feeling frustrated. This final part delivers that confidence. Let's start by clearing one last mental block, because many people still carry it quietly in their mind. They think, if I don't scrub, am I being lazy? The answer is no, you're being strategic. Scrubbing is effort without intelligence. Overnight cleaning is intelligence without effort. Humans have been conditioned to believe that hard work always equals better results, but cleaning doesn't follow that rule. Chemistry, time, and consistency beat muscle every single time. Once you accept that, everything becomes easier. Now imagine this moment. It's been a few weeks since you stopped scrubbing. You walk into your bathroom during the day, not to clean, but just to use it. You glance at the bowl without thinking, and then it hits you: there's no ring, no haze, no faint smell. The toilet doesn't look recently cleaned. It just looks normal. And that's the highest level of clean. When something looks so consistently clean that you stop noticing it, that's when you know the system is working. This is where the final overnight reset comes in, not as a regular habit, but as a safety net. This is for the moments when life gets busy, routines break, or guests are coming and you want to refresh everything without stress. The reset is simple, gentle, and powerful. On one quiet night, before bed, you lower the water level slightly. You apply vinegar around the bowl. You add baking soda lightly. Then you add a small amount of hydrogen peroxide under the rim. Not all at once, slowly, intentionally. You close the lid. You do nothing else. No flushing, no scrubbing. You walk away. This combination works in layers. While you sleep, minerals soften, bacteria die off, odors neutralize. By morning, the toilet feels reset, not assaulted. What makes this reset special is that it doesn't damage anything. It doesn't roughen the surface. It doesn't leave residue. It simply restores balance. People who use this reset once every few weeks rarely see stains form at all. Now let's talk about long-term behavior, because this is where permanent change happens. The most successful people don't clean their toilets more, they interfere with them less. They stop over-cleaning. They stop panicking at the first sign of a shadow at the waterline. They trust the process. When you clean overnight, you give problems time to resolve themselves instead of reacting emotionally. Here's a powerful habit that almost feels too small to matter, but it does. Always close the lid when you're done treating the toilet at night. That simple action traps moisture, slows evaporation, and keeps the treatment active longer. It also creates a mental signal: the day is over, the system is working. Small rituals like this reinforce consistency without effort. Now let's address the fear of skipping days. Life happens. Some nights you forget, some weeks you're busy. The beauty of this system is that missing a day doesn't undo progress. Because you're not fighting stains anymore, you've changed the environment they need to survive. Once that environment is gone, stains struggle to return even when routines loosen. Another key realization people have at this stage is that their toilet water starts looking clearer, brighter, fresher. That's not imagination. Cleaner tank components, reduced mineral buildup, and fewer bacteria all contribute to better water clarity. And clean water leads to clean porcelain. let's return briefly to the emotional side, because this is what truly makes the outro powerful. Cleaning used to feel like failure management. You cleaned because something went wrong. Now cleaning feels like quiet maintenance. You're not reacting, you're preventing. That shift reduces stress more than people expect. Think about how many times cleaning has interrupted your day. How many weekends were shortened by chores. How many times you felt annoyed at a stain that shouldn't be there. Overnight cleaning gives you those moments back. It works while you rest, while you sleep, while you live. And here's the most important truth of all: this method doesn't just clean toilets. It changes how you think about household problems. You start asking better questions. Instead of "how hard do I need to scrub?" you ask, "how can I let this work on its own?" That mindset spreads. People who adopt this approach often notice something unexpected. Their bathroom becomes calmer, quieter, less chaotic. There's no clutter of bottles, no overpowering smells. Just a clean space that feels neutral and controlled. That calm matters more than sparkle. Now imagine recommending this to someone else. You don't sound stressed. You don't sound desperate. You simply say, "I stopped scrubbing. I let it clean overnight." That confidence comes from experience, not theory. Let's take one final look at where this journey started. That late night moment, that stubborn stain, that quiet frustration. You don't fight it anymore. You understand it. And once you understand something, it stops having power over you. So tonight, when the house gets quiet again and you step into the bathroom one last time, remember this: you don't need to do more. You need to do less, but smarter. Apply, close the lid, walk away. Let time handle what force never could. And when morning comes, don't rush. Lift the lid slowly. Look at the result. Let yourself feel that small win, because those small wins are what make systems stick. This is the end of this video, but it's the beginning of a completely different relationship with cleaning. No scrubbing, no harsh chemicals, no stress, just quiet results that happen while you sleep. If this changed the way you think, stay connected, because there are many more everyday problems that disappear the moment you stop fighting them and start letting the right process work for you. Good night. Let the toilet do the work.